boys and girls. This is Miss Lopez, the school counselor again, and welcome to lesson 3 of your Strong Start lessons. In this lesson, we're going to be learning about understanding our feelings, part 2, because we talked about naming our feelings last week. So now we're going to learn more about understanding those feelings. So boys and girls, as always, we're going to start with our icebreaker. And our icebreaker for today is, if you were a superhero and could have one power, what would it be? I'll give you all some think time. And go ahead and shout it out or tell it to yourself in your head. What would be your one power, boys and girls? Flying, jumping, being invisible, super strength. Those are all amazing superpowers, boys and girls. If someone asked Ms. Lopez what superpower I would have, it would be to create happiness in someone's heart with a simple smile, because smiling is one of my favorite things to do, boys and girls. Okay, let's go ahead and move on with Ronnie, our friend the rhino. He's going to be joining us as always for our lessons. And before we start, we're going to practice focusing our energy and calming our bodies for today's reading, because it's a long one today, boys and girls. So I want to make sure we're all going to have a calm body. Let's review the rules, our special rules for our classroom lessons, boys and girls. You are all probably experts at this point. We're going to be a good listener as always, boys and girls. We're going to keep a calm body, and we're going to be a friend. And in order to keep a calm body, boys and girls, we're going to do our balloon activity again. So if you remember, this is the activity we did in our first lesson. So I want everyone to go ahead and close your eyes. Maybe sit up straight or stand up straight wherever you are. Imagine your balloon. Remember, it can be any color that you want it to be. It can look any way how you want it to look. It can be rainbow. It can be yellow with purple stars. It can even be blue with red lightnings on it. However you'd like, boys and girls. So close your eyes. Picture that balloon in your belly. And as you breathe in, that balloon gets really big. And as you breathe out, that balloon is getting small. And we're going to do that 2 more times, boys and girls. Big balloon. Breathe out, small balloon. 1 more time, boys and girls. Let's keep a calm body. Big balloon. Big. And a small balloon. So I hope everyone's feeling a bit more calm today. And we're preparing for our reading. The reading for today, boys and girls, Lily's Purple Plastic Purse by Kevin Henkes. Hey, my brother's name is Kevin, but it's not this same Kevin. My Kevin's in high school still, but maybe he'll become an author like this Kevin. So let's start our book reading for today, boys and girls. Lily's Purple Plastic Purse. It's going to be a lot of pages. Remember to keep calm. I love school. Lily loved school. She loved the pointy pencils. She loved the squeaky chalk. And she loved the way her boots went clickety-clickety-click down the long, shiny hallways. Lily loved the privacy of her very own desk. Mine. She loved the fish sticks and chocolate milk every Friday in the lunchroom. Straws make everything taste better. And most of all, she loved her teacher, Mr. Slinger. For you. Mr. Slinger was as sharp as a tack. He wore artistic shirts he wore glasses on a chain around his neck, and he wore a different colored tie for each day of the week. Wow, said Lily. That was just all about she could say. Wow. Instead of greeting students or good morning pupils, Mr. Slinger winked and he said, howdy. He thought that desks and rows were old-fashioned and boring. Do you rodents think you can handle a semicircle? And he always provided the most tasty snacks, things that were curly and crunchy and cheesy. I want to be a teacher when I grow up, said Lily. Me too, said her friends Chester and Wilson and Victor. At home, Lily pretended to be Mr. Slinger. I am the teacher, she told her baby brother Julius. Listen up. Lily even wanted her own set of deluxe picture encyclopedias. What's with Lily? Asked her mother. I thought she wanted to be a surgeon or an ambulance driver or a diva, said her father. It must be because of her new teacher, Mr. Slinger, said her mother. Wow, said her father. That was just about all he could say. Wow. Whenever the students had free time, they were permitted to go to the light bulb lab in the back of the classroom. They expressed their ideas creatively through drawing and writing. Lily went often. She had a lot of ideas. She drew pictures of Mr. Slinger, and she wrote stories about him too. During sharing time, Lily showed her creations to the entire class. Wow, said Mr. Slinger. That was just about all he could say. Wow. When Mr. Slinger had bus duty, Lily stood in line even though she didn't ride the bus. Lily raised her hand more than anyone else in class, even if she didn't know the answer. And she volunteered to stay after school and clap erasers. I want to be a teacher when I grow up, said Lily. Excellent choice, said Mr. Slinger. One Monday morning, Lily came to school especially happy. She had gone shopping with her Grammy over the weekend. Lily had a new pair of movie star glasses, complete with glittery diamonds and a chain like Mr. Slinger's. She had 3 shiny quarters, and best of all, she had a brand new purple plastic purse and played a jaunty tune when it was opened. Lily wanted to show everyone. Not now, said Mr. Slinger. Listen to our story. Lily had a hard time listening. Lily really wanted to show everyone. Not now, said Mr. Slinger. Let's be considerate of our classmates. Lily had a hard time being considerate. Lily really wanted to show everyone. Not now, said Mr. Slinger. Wait until recess or sharing time. But Lily could not wait. She's in trouble. The glasses were so glittery. The quarters were so shiny. And the purse played such nice music. Not to mention how excellent it was for storing school supplies. Look, Lily whispered fiercely. Look, everyone. Look what I've got. Everyone looked, including Mr. Slinger. He was not amused. I'll just keep your things at my desk until the end of the day, said Mr. Slinger. They'll be safe there, and then you can take them home. Lily's stomach lurched. She felt like crying. Her glasses were gone, her quarters were gone, her purple plastic purse was gone. Lily longed for her purse all morning. She was even too sad to eat the snack Mr. Slinger served before recess. That afternoon, Lily went to the light bulb lab. She was still very sad. She thought and she thought and she thought. And then she became angry. She thought and she thought and she thought some more. And then she became furious. She thought and she thought and she thought a bit longer. And then she drew a picture of Mr. Slinger. Right before the last bell rang, Lily sneaked the drawing into Mr. Slinger's book bag. When all the students were buttoned and zipped and snapped and tied and ready to go home, Mr. Slinger strolled over to Lily and gave her purple plastic purse back. "It's a beautiful purse," said Mr. Slinger. "Your quarters are nice and jingly, and those glasses are absolutely fabulous. You may bring them back to school as long as you don't disturb the rest of the class." "I do not want to be a teacher when I grow up," Lily said as she marched out of the classroom. On the way home, Lily opened her purse. Her glasses and quarters were inside, and so was a note from Mr. Slinger. It said, "Today was a difficult day. Tomorrow will be better." There was also a small bag of tasty snacks at the bottom of the purse. Lily's stomach lurched. She felt like crying. She felt simply awful. Lily ran all the way home and told her mother and father everything. Instead of watching her favorite cartoons, Lily decided to sit in the uncooperative chair. "I'll stay here a million years for Mr. Slinger. Why does everything always happen to me? 1051, 1052, 1099. That night, Lily drew a nice picture of Mr. Slinger and wrote a story about him too. I'm an author. Lily's mother wrote a note, and Lily's father baked some tasty snacks for Lily to take to school the next day. "I think Mr. Slinger will understand," said Lily's mother. "I know he will," said Lily's father. "How could he resist my no-frills cheese balls?" The next morning, Lily got to school early. "These are for you," Lily said to Mr. Slinger, "because I'm really sorry." Mr. Slinger read the story, and he looked at the picture, and he read the note, and he sampled the snacks. "Wow," said Mr. Slinger. That was just about all he could say. Wow. "What do you think we should do with this?" asked Mr. Slinger. "Could we just throw it away?" asked Lily. "Excellent idea," said Mr. Slinger. During sharing time, Lily demonstrated the many uses and unique qualities of her purple plastic purse, her shiny quarters, and her glittery movie star sunglasses. Then she did a little performance using them as props. "It's called interpretive dance," said Lily. Mr. Slinger joined in. "Wow," said the entire class. That was just about all they could say. Wow. Throughout the rest of the day, Lily's purse and quarters and sunglasses were tucked safely inside her desk. She peeked at them often, but did not disturb a soul. Right before the last bell rang, Mr. Slinger served Lily snacks, to everyone's delight. "What do you want to be when you grow up?" asked Mr. Slinger. "A teacher," everyone responded. Lily's response was the loudest. "Excellent choice," said Mr. Slinger. As the pupils filled out the classroom, Lily held her purple plastic purse close to her heart. Mr. Slinger was right. It had been a better day. Lily ran and skipped and hopped and flew all the way home. She was so happy, and she really did want to be a teacher when she grew up. That is, when she didn't want to be a dancer, or a surgeon, or an ambulance driver, or a diva, or a pilot, or a hairdresser, or a scuba diver. The end. Thank you all for remaining such calm bodies as we read Lily's Purple Plastic Purse, boys and girls. Let's get to our questions. What was one of the feelings the character had, boys and girls? What was Lily feeling? At one point, she was really excited to share her purple purse. And she also was really angry when she couldn't share because she was so excited that she drew that nasty picture of her teacher. Do you think feeling angry was a good or not so good feeling, boys and girls? Yeah, a not so good feeling. What about being excited? Was that a good or not so good feeling? That was a good feeling, boys and girls. It's good to feel excited. What did Lily do when she was feeling excited? Right, she wanted to share so bad. But was it an okay way or a not okay way to show her feeling by interrupting the class to share? It wasn't an okay way. There's plenty of ways that we can show we're excited without disrupting our class or our home or our friends, boys and girls. That's why it's important. Do we know it's a good feeling, not so good feeling, and then we need to know, is it a good way to show our feelings or a not so good way to show our feelings? So we're going to do another little activity, boys and girls, because last time we talked about naming our feelings that are good and not so good. Now we're going to talk about what to do when we have a good or a not so good feeling. And of course, happy is a good feeling, boys and girls. And when Ronnie is happy, he smiles more, just like Miss Lopez. And he has fun playing and learning with everybody. But disgusted, boys and girls, that's not such a good feeling. When Ronnie feels disgusted, his tummy hurts and he makes a yucky face. When I'm angry, boys and girls, sometimes I don't like to talk to people and I just like to go in my own little world. But when Ronnie is angry, he stomps and he yells and he just blurts out a lot of things, boys and girls. Which lets you know, boys and girls, that people can have more than one feeling at the same time. Like a juggler. What do you think jugglers feel when they're juggling all of those different balls in the air? They can feel happy because they like to juggle. But right, they can also feel nervous that they might drop the balls, or that they may be hopeful that they might add another ball onto their juggling. Just like jugglers, boys and girls, we have lots of emotions and feelings at the same time. For example, when we come back to school, we can feel so excited that we're going to get to see our friends and teachers. But we can also feel a little bit scared and nervous because we don't want to get sick. And it's going to be a little difficult to wear a mask. And we might even be sad that we're going to miss our parents at home. So you see, boys and girls, we can juggle more than one feeling at the same time. So let's learn about understanding some of our basic feelings, boys and girls. This is a picture of happy, and happy is a good feeling. Can you think of a time when you were feeling happy? I know I can. Yesterday, I got to eat some yummy snacks. and I was feeling so happy. This is angry, boys and girls. Anger. Anger is a not so good feeling, boys and girls. Can you think of a time when you might have felt angry? I know I have. When something didn't really go my way, I got a little bit angry, and that's okay sometimes. But remember, we're going to learn good ways and not so good ways to show our anger. Ooh, disgust. This is a picture of disgust, boys and girls, and it's a not so good feeling. Can you remember a time when you might have felt disgusted? Ugh, yes, like the little boy where he was drinking something he did not like. That was a pretty disgusted feeling. Ooh, sadness, boys and girls. Sadness is a not so good feeling. Can you think of a time when you might have felt sad? I can think of a lot of things, especially this year. I was a little bit sad when I couldn't get to see my grandma. And I was a little bit sad too because I had a very important trip planned and it wasn't able to happen. So I felt very sad. So boys and girls, we have all of these feelings, but what are ways we can show our feelings in a good way? When we're feeling sad, maybe our pet ran away. And a good way to show our feeling is to tell our parents or whoever's taking care of us how we're feeling. But it's not okay to scream and demand a new pet right away. That's not okay. When we're angry because maybe a friend borrowed our bike without asking, it's okay to take a deep breath and then talk to your friend about how you feel. But it would not be okay to push your friend off of your bike. When you feel afraid, boys and girls, because maybe you have to go to the doctor, it's okay to tell your parent how you feel. You might feel a little nervous or afraid, but it's not okay to keep it a secret because then your parent won't know how to help you if you're feeling afraid, boys and girls. So we have to remember, it's important that we show our feeling in okay ways. It's also important to remember that other people may not always feel the same way you do, and they might not always show their feelings in an okay way. And it could be our job to show and to help our friends express ourselves in an okay way, boys and girls. So that was our third lesson, boys and girls, on understanding your feelings with Strong Start, and we got to read Lily's Purple Plastic Purse. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you for our next lesson, boys and girls, for lesson 4.